Hi, I just wanted to say hi to all of you and give an update of what has been happening at my end. It has been one of the busiest 4 months of my life ever since I came here in August. It's December already, and the fall semester is already has come to an end. And I just gave my exams this week, the project submissions and so on. And the spring semester would be starting again in January, and again maybe getting over by April. What I've been doing all these last 4 months, basically, I think majority of my time has um, gone in, either the academic classes or going around for visiting, doing the conferences or meeting people and doing all the other mandatory things that is required of the Humphrey Fellowship, like the community service, also the mandatory meetings and seminars and cultural gatherings that are a part of what the university expects us to do. And uh, with regard to the conferences I have visited, I think the two or three major ones which are worth sharing about is the first is the test fraud conference, which I went for in sometime in October. And this is a conference which actually has been done for the second time in United States, and this is slowly becoming an annual feature. And this conference is actually because of the high stakes testing that goes on in the country, and which results in a lot of undesirable um, practices towards increasing or inflating test scores. So it's a group of experts, the majority of them psychometricians, and also a number of lawyers, testing organizations, and not only psychometricians from the education field, but you would also find people from the bar exams, the nursing exams, and because testing is obviously a big time activity here, not necessarily in K-12, but across the different career professions also. And so here, I mean, I was surprised to see that many things that we do in India, like when we conduct a large scale assessment, how we take care of test security and so on, are just not being done. Even things like how we handle the data, you find that such high level security measures are often not taken, even though the testing is very high stakes here. So the second conference I would like to share is the about the World Bank conference on global assessments for learning. And this conference was actually I mean, the people who participated in this conference were people, we knew to some extent, like people like Dan Koretz from Harvard University, Professor Lant Pritchett, who was one of our panel speakers in the when we released the Google report. Then we had Jishnu, who's an again an Indian researcher who has been here and has been quite known to us in the other circles, and a number of people whom I had met before, like people from Pearson, people from Acer, the Australian company, then people from organizations like the World Bank, and then the Learning Metric Task Force, and quite a few of them. And Rukmani from Prathamad was also one of the speakers invited here for the ASER studies that are being done in India. And the most interesting thing I sort of found was that US has gone the way of test-based accountability. What it means is that they enacted the No Child Left Behind Act in 2000 and 2001 under George Bush, and this sort of brought the focus of schools having to show progress in achievement based on the test scores. And so as a result, what happened was that you would find that as I said before, a number of undesirable activities also started, and then you will find that the teachers were feeling that they were forced to teach only math and English, and schools were compelled to show gains, and this had its own problems. I mean, looking at it from the point of view of, let us say, a sociologist like Campbell, who says that Campbell's law actually states that whenever a social indicator is used for in a high stakes situation for various other decisions, then in all probability that indicator by itself would start getting corrupt, and will no longer function in the way it is supposed to. So probably that happened to some extent here on test scores. And the recent 2009 act of Obama, the Race to the Top program that has been done to provide additional funding to the different school districts and the schools and the states for showing better performance, also sorts of does not mitigate the the ill effects of what has happened on test-based accountability. And what the global conference, the World Conference showed to me was that the test-based accountability that has been practiced by US is here to stay, and probably it is also going to be what is going to happen in the rest of the world with the UN Millennium Development Goals, and all the states also and the countries also expected to show learning gains. But what has been troubling me a lot is that when we try to reform a system, the fact that the system is, and especially when you use testing for as one of the goals, not one of the goals, the main goal that has to be met with, then the fear is that all the undesirable things that you see in US is going to happen right across the world. And the fact that testing, if it's done in a low stakes way, and with it just not being the silver bullet, but it is being accompanied by a number of various other initiatives, then I think there is a possibility of a system getting reformed. But when testing is being used as a silver bullet, and it is used as the main purpose of education, where all the people are just focused on just improving the test scores, then I think a lot of subversion is going to happen. And I mean, in countries like India, where there is no skill sets to even make good tests right across the different states, etc., I think it just compounds the problem. And one of the things that Dan Koretz and I spoke about, I think Rukmini also had spoken about it in the seminar, was that we were thinking that many countries do not have capabilities to conduct or develop a test and conduct it and implement it in the way it should be done. And if a global group of people, well-meaning people, are put together who have the necessary skill sets, then if there is some way that some workshops could be done across different countries and so on and so forth. Idea is too much in a preliminary stage, and I think but that is something that could be sort of looked at. So this is one of the things we discussed. And so these are the two main conferences. Apart from that, I attended the Global Leadership Forum, which was done by the US State Department. I had shared about it in Insight EI earlier with the photographs, where I got to meet the speechwriter of President Obama, though he could not come for that particular conference. He had sent a speechwriter with a special message for us Fulbright Humphrey Fellows. And so Ben is actually the main speechwriter and the only foreign policy speechwriter for President Obama. So he was sharing a number of details about how the speech gets written, and especially when I was asking him about the speech in the Indian Parliament and in the Xavier's College, etc., he was sharing some of the what happens between him and Obama when they actually finalize the speech, and then what goes on. So that was a pretty interesting thing. And the Global Leadership Forum is a very high-powered meeting with the entire US state department in attendance, and it is being done, of course, and the reception is being done by the US State Department. So it's a sort of a high profile event, and so all that went along with that. I think I've shared some photos on Facebook which some of the others have seen, and similarly I did share about it in the Inside AI. And apart from these, I also got to meet, I went to Boston and I actually got to meet Dan Koretz, and we discussed a bit about test-based accountability and how in such situations what could be done in order to sort of mitigate to some extent the effect of what I spoke about, the Campbell's law and so on. So I can share about it when I'm back. And apart from that, some of the other my academic activities which I have been doing are like I have been working with the MSDF data, especially the ones we collected on the background questionnaire. So sort of I intimately know what has happened with the data, what is there, what is not there, and what's good, what is not good, and so on. And I have been doing it with a software called Stata. And Stata is something which, in fact, in 2005-06, both Venki and Karthik were sort of pushing us to learn. And since it was a task too much by itself, sort of we didn't go into it. But after I've started using Stata, I'm sort of in love with the software. It's very versatile, and it lets you do almost all that we need a team to do back home single-handedly. If a person knows how to handle it, the software helps that person to sort of do it. And so this is something which has been very interesting. So I have run a bit of regression and hierarchical linear models, etc., on the background data. And in the next semester, I'm hoping to do something about the IRT. I have not been getting good guidance on the vertical scale thing. So the only professor who's available here is sort of quite busy and not able to spend time. And so I'm thought of thinking of taking it up as an individual project, and possibly I will be working on it. And there are some software issues and which software to use and so on, because the proprietary software is sort of costly, and then I can sort of go in for a student version, but student version again does not help to handle such large data sets and so on. So that's something which I'm thinking of sorting it out, because that is something which is quite important for us to know to take the next step in our work in using things like item response theory to the next level. The other things, interesting things I could say is that during my trip to Boston, I also got to visit one of the ex EILSA members, Priya Bhatt. She is in Connecticut, and the same place as where the IRT, the father of IRT, Professor Hariharan Swaminathan is, but I didn't get to meet him. I was with Priya for just a day, and Priya is one of the early members of the large-scale assessment team. She was there with us when we did the learning standards and at the initial stages of the Andhra Pradesh AP project. Priya has then went on to do masters in the Harvard School of Education, and she has a lot of experience in working on reading disabilities. Currently, she is in Connecticut, and she's not working because she's got a 2-year-old child, a very delightful young girl. And Priya most probably will be doing her PhD in reading. And so we have been discussing some ideas in how or what she could do to take as a research topic for her PhD. So that is an interesting thing that I thought I could share, because some of you may know Priya, at least the early members would know Priya. Apart from that, the last 10-15 days has been a very hectic time. I mean, projects, the reflection papers, assignments, and so on and so forth. And to top it all, it has been snowing very heavily, and yesterday and today there has been 8 inches of snow. And so the temperature is about -2 degrees C today, and it's combined with a wind chill factor and humidity so that it's actually much colder than what you would expect at -2. So sort of even with all the heater on and centralized heating, etc., it's a little chillier even inside the rooms. So that's what is happening at my front for the last few months. And I mean, that's all I've got to share at this stage. Thanks.